Shannon, how would you grade Dak's performance yesterday?
Skip, I'm going to give him a B, maybe a slightly B+, but I think
Really?
B is very fitting for him because I don't think he played
Well,
particularly.
don't equivocate. Is it a B+ or a B?
I'm giving it a B.
Okay.
I said I could
You're leaning B+.
But when I wrote B down. Okay. I was like, no, he don't deserve B+. But anyway, I just think, Skip, the first half, he didn't play particularly well. I thought he held onto the ball a little bit too long. I thought he missed some throws. If you remember, he had a guy that was wide open, and he ended up grounding it. You remember Aaron Rodgers? You said Aaron Rodgers, he just tanked it. He just threw it in the dirt. Aaron said, the ball got stuck in his hand. But you weren't buying that.
Thank you for comparing Dak to Aaron Rodgers.
No. There ain't no comparison. But anyway, I didn't think he played particularly well in the first half. I thought he held onto the ball at points in time during the game that he should sometimes skip. You just throw the ball away. It's okay. They got a stat for everything. If you throw the ball 5 yards, you throw the ball 10 yards, how far does the ball travel in the air? So they got a stat for everything.
They do.
So you can't get caught up in like, well, it's going to make me look bad if I throw it away and I ain't trying for a completion. But sometimes live to see another day.
Agreed.
You don't want to take all those shots.
Agreed.
Amari, the touchdowns, Amari did the legwork. Because if you look at what Amari did, 196 yards after catch, compared to 289, he only had 92 yards of actual total pass yards. So, but I'll give him credit. I thought he made some pretty good throws. But I'm gonna give it the touchdown run was unbelievable to break the 2 tackles, the dodge. Basically ran almost 35 yards to get a 4-yard touchdown, which was good. Which put him up 31? I think you said 31-13 at that point.
It was.
So I'll give him credit for that. But I'll give him a solid B because I think the first half he left some of the trimmings on the table.
Okay, hater number 2.
All right. As you know, I'm a adjunct professor at USC. So
Or I call it just a junk professor.
So when it comes to grades, I'm very careful and I'm considerate and think about it.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a B+.
Wow.
And it's very hard for me to admit. But I'm going to give him a B+.
You're going to lose your label.
Well, I got to call it the way I see it. And I will give him credit. Considering where he had been the last couple of weeks, where they were winning basically without him. He had 1 touchdown in the last 2 weeks. And he has the big 2 touchdowns and the run. And I think it helps, even though Amari Cooper did all the legwork, it still opens up to where Dak says, hey, you got me a guy, I could utilize him, and he made it happen. Do you know what I mean? So I got to give him credit for at least that. And when you think about, it wasn't 350 yards or whatever, 289, but where he's always around 190 or 200, he looked like a functional quarterback who could win a functional quarterback who could win you something with the right things around him, like he was his rookie year, where if you have the offensive line and you have the running back who rushed for over 120 yards, you have all those elements, then all of a sudden, Dak's not that bad. Can you win with him? Yeah, maybe you can. And he answered the bell. So I'm going to give him a B+, and I'm not going to hate on him today. I think he did well.
Wow. The functional quarterback is in first place in the NFC East right now, just for the record.
By the skin of his teeth.
Okay, well, maybe. So, this is a first for Undisputed. Would you believe, you two Dak haters that you are, my grade is lower than your grade?
Wow.
No, we should leave. We should get up and walk out.
I am C+.
Wow.
And the only reason I went to plus was because of the aforementioned run. That was a flat-out warrior run. That's Dak Prescott at 240 saying, I will not be denied. I will not go down. That's what he does best. Not that he's just a running quarterback, but he'll make a play like that every game where you'll say, wow, that was just guts. That was just, he's a gamer. He's a battler. I'm just going to get it in the end zone, however it takes to get it in the end zone, whether I'll throw it or run it. And finally he just said, you know what? I got a little crease here. I'm going to take it. I'm going to somersault into the end zone. He did it at Arizona on Monday night. He made 3 plays in that game that won that game because that was all the offense they had last year on a Monday night early in the year after the Denver debacle. But Shannon, to your point, 40 yards, 90 yards. Neither pass was great. The second one was pretty good, but was a little behind Amari. But the first one was just a basic pass, and Quentin Dunbar just falls down.
Well,
So,
I know you're a Dak supporter, Skip, not to cut you off, but his the guys that support him today more than you are will say, well, he threw it on his back shoulder because he saw the safety coming, and he didn't want to run him into the head.
Okay, I got you. I'm not sure that was operating
No,
there. I'm
it was
not sure
not.
because he has not shown me in the past he has that much capability to be that much of a marksman.
Yes.
I can't give him that. I hope you're right, because you could make a case that it was right, because he is double covered. It's actually a fairly dangerous throw. There are actually 3 Redskins in the neighborhood of the throw.
But Skip, I just look at it. His grade should be higher. I think because of the importance of the game. It was a big game with the division, right? With the division on the line.
Yep.
National television. He could have laid an egg out there, and then that would have been like the Cowboys season would have been almost over. So I think he performed even better because of the situation and circumstance. That's why I added extra to him.
Okay. To your point, though, even though the 2 long touchdowns in the third quarter were more about Amari than Dak, their wavelength is growing by the throw.
Yes.
And it is becoming powerful to me. It is changing the way they play offense. And his confidence has grown so much in Amari, he's going to throw some of those balls because he thinks my guy's going to go get that ball.
Right.
And then he was able to pivot out of the 90-yarder, pivot out of the 3 tackles and just go with it. And Amari Cooper, as Dak said after the game, is as fast as he needs to be. Yeah. And he was fast enough on both those runs to just run past the rest of the defense. So my issues become what happened at the end of the year last year. He got sacked 8 times at Atlanta, and he turned right around on Thanksgiving Day a year ago against your Chargers, and it was a devastation, annihilation, mortification for me. And Dak was a basket case in that game. And he's now still holding the ball too long. He gets brain locked, like, I'm second guessing. And he also audibles too much. He'll get at the line of scrimmage, he'll change the play twice, and then it's brain locked. Like, then he's not going to step into it with authority. And it all comes from last year. He hasn't gotten last year out of his system. But at least he wasn't double clutching and then throwing an interception, because he's gone 3 straight games with no turnovers, which is great. But his QBR now ranks 22nd in the league. Well, I told you, he was 3rd as a rookie, 4th last year. As bad as you gave him an F for last year, he was 4th in QBR. He's 22nd. In his last 3 games, all victories, his average QBR is 55 on a scale of 0 to 100. So he hasn't lit up the QBR, to your point, in any of the 3 games.
Right.
But yesterday, he held the ball too long. He took some sacks. And then your point about missed receivers, they had it 1st and goal at the 4, thanks to his run on a read option keeper.
Correct.
And on 1st down, he backpedals against the rushes coming in his face. And Noah Brown is just standing like Austin Carr was in the New Orleans game, just standing at the goal line like wide open. And he short arms it. And the ball bounces at the 5. It's a touchdown. You have to make that throw. If you're that guy, you make that throw. And then late in the game, they're trying to ice it. And Colt McCoy is throwing them back in the game and back in the game and back in the game. And it's 4 minutes left, and it's 3rd and 10 from the 14, and he rolls out, and Michael Gallup just toasts the DB, just runs right by him. It's a touchdown.
You got to make it.
He underthrew it by 5 yards. He threw it more to the DB than to Michael, and Michael had to come back and fight the ball to the turf.
Right.
So it's incomplete. Well, you got to make those 2 throws. So I can't.
Are you convinced as you go forward, okay, they won the big game, they were in first place, they're tied, but as you go forward, are you still, did he convince you of anything, or you still are worried about the shortcomings in the last 5 games?
He has grown obviously so much with Amari Cooper. Now they have a chance that they didn't have before, because they lost close games on the road early, like at Seattle or at Houston, because he didn't have one threat at wideout. So you just couldn't score because you couldn't make a play. Nobody could make a play like those 2 plays were made because that guy was the 4th pick in the draft. If you don't have him yesterday, I'm not sure you win that game without Amari.
No, you won't.
Because what they have now is a guy that can – he's what Dez was in Dez's first couple of years.
I agree.
Guy that can go out there, beat one-on-one coverage, make the big plays. The guy missed, he's going to hit his head on the goalpost.
He will.
But I tell you why you should be pleased or pleasantly surprised, because the Cowboys, before they went on the streak, Skip, they hadn't won back-to-back games. They hadn't won on the road. And they hadn't scored 20-plus points in back-to-back games. Now they're putting 20 points in 3 consecutive games, all wins, and they're getting Ezekiel Elliott more involved.
What I love the most about Dak Prescott, he competes. He competed when they lost at Washington in the 4th quarter. He threw for 120 yards after he made the mistake of the day when he fumbled in his own end zone and just gave him a 20-10 lead with a touchdown. And then he fought him all the way back to a field goal at the buzzer. Should have been 5 yards closer, but the bogus call, and the kicker hit the left upright. But the point was, Dak got him back in that game, and Jerry Jones said after the game, I can win a lot of games with that with that quarterback.
But can you win the big game?
Can you
And I
win
guess
that game?
Yeah, can you win that game? And that's the one I still don't trust him.
How close did he come to beating Aaron Rodgers as a rookie
Not that
in his
close.
first year? Not that close? Are you kidding me?
Aaron Rodgers wasn't worried.
It took a 56-yard field goal and a 51-yard field goal to beat Dak
If you
Prescott.
notice-
And by the way, he threw for 300+ in that game, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Skip, you also know once you're down big, defenses lay off a little bit and give you some space in
Right.
front of them.